Hey guys, you have probably noticed that Mr. Reed is not at school today. That's because I am still in New Delhi with the MESAC JV volleyball tournament. I should be back next class period, but because of that, we have to do a lesson via video. So I have everything that you need to do lined up on this video. So all you have to do is look for the different documents that I'm talking about in Tanin and follow along with us as we go. You don't have any home learning for the class period, so that's great. And you'll notice that there aren't any documents, and I'll tell you why once we get started. For the moment, though, take about 5 minutes and try to answer those do now questions. And we're going to pause the video right now, or you should pause the video right now, and we'll come back to you as soon as you're done answering those questions. All right, looking at that do now. Question number one. What is the variable that scientists change from attempt to attempt in an experiment? That should be a independent variable. Number two, what words do a good hypothesis have to have? Well, you need to have an if, a then, and a because to make your hypothesis a good one. And then number three, controlled variables are what? We said that they're the ones that, the variables that a scientist has to keep exactly the same from attempt to attempt in any experiment. You have to keep them the same. As far as today goes, there aren't any know-its or vocab. Starting off as always, three, something cools. Kind of a crazy coin, I know, but it's a really, really old one. Obviously, the date at the bottom shows that it's from 1794. And what you're looking at here is something called a flowing hair silver dollar. And because it is so old and rare, it recently just sold at auction for $10 million. So imagine having a coin laying around your house that if you brought it to an appraiser, they were able to tell you, oh yeah, this thing is worth a lot of money, and then you get $10 million for a single coin. There are quite a few other very rare coins. I think the next one down in terms of rareness sold at auction for about 7 million. So might want to start looking through your piggy bank or at least checking the couch cushions to see if anything's fallen down there. You might have a valuable coin. Who knows? Second, something cool. New Zealand is an incredibly beautiful country. If you don't or haven't never had the chance to go, go. It is insanely beautiful. It has incredible people, great scenery just like this, but it is also the home to the world's longest name. The longest name is of a town in New Zealand, and I unfortunately can't even pronounce it, so I'm just going to put it on the screen. That's it. That's the whole name. It's crazy. So yeah, that's the, if anybody wants to tell you, hey, what's the longest name in the world? Now you know, and you could tell them, or at least tell them that it's in New Zealand. Third, something cool, bacteria. These microscopic beauties are all around us, and I'm sure I'll do more three something cools about them, but I wanted to talk to you today because, or about the fact that they are literally everywhere. They're in the air, they're in the liquids that you drink, they're in the soil, they're all over you, they're in you, they make up a lot about your body. There are a lot of bacteria like in your mouth and in your digestive system, but there's a lot. And there are so many that there's actually a huge number. If you think of like the human population being something of around, let's say, 8 billion, yeah, that's a big number. But the number of bacteria just blows that completely away. The total number of bacteria on our planet is 4 quadrillion. That's this number right here. It's a lot. We have a lot of bacteria. So yeah, that's insane. So just keep that in mind whenever you're thinking, oh, like I'm perfectly alone. You're never really alone. There's always going to be bacteria with you. Anyway, Today, we've got a couple of things that have to get done. First of which, whoops, it skipped. First of which is last two class periods we've been working on CERs for the breathless bag experiment that we've conducted, as well as the water temperature lab. You were supposed to have that done for today, the CER written. If you didn't quite get it done, or if you wish to try to get an advanced score, you are going to have the first part of the class period to do that. So we'll give you about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do that. So if you want to add some information to it, great. After you have worked on that CER for 10 to 15 minutes, I would like you to find one other individual around the room to read through your breathless bag CER, and then also one individual, a different individual, to read through your water temperature lab. I would like them to give you some feedback and you give them feedback on their CERs as well. If there's something that you think they should include or change, give them those suggestions. Remember, to get an advanced score, you have to have as many pieces of evidence as you can. So if typically we said for a proficient is only 3 pieces of evidence, for an advanced you need 5 or more. Also, you do have to have a good reasoning. The scientific reasoning that you give, the explanation, should be based on the stuff that we've been talking about in science class. So you should be thinking about atoms or thermal energy or kinetic energy or just changing of state. Think about those things when you're writing that advanced reasoning. Also, if you're up for it, try your hand at that counterclaim, because sometimes that counterclaim could push it over to being an advanced score without having as much evidence or as good of a reasoning. But if you were able to give me a good counterclaim, that could sometimes do it. When you are done with that, so 10 minutes to write your CER, or work on it, change it up a bit if you need to, 10 minutes to look at somebody else's breathless bag and their water labs, so that's 20 minutes. And then the remainder of the hour, then, you will have a choice. I have posted in Tanin 4 different videos, actually 3 different videos that you could watch about chemistry. We started watching this Curious Chemistry video up here. You can continue that on your own, but you have to have earphones. So if you need to get those, go and grab them from your locker. If you have them, fantastic. So you could watch about chemical curiosities, the ones that we were doing. Otherwise, a couple of other chemistry videos from YouTube's. The third one I've put on is actually a website that you can go to. And this gentleman down here, he's a very, very famous chemist from, I think it's Cambridge University. But he has an entire channel dedicated to each of the different elements in the periodic table. And if you click on it, one, for example, let's say hydrogen, he talks a little bit about each of the elements, and then also has some crazy cool demonstrations for them. For example, hydrogen, he makes some exploding bubbles and shows what happens when you light them on fire. So he's got these wickedly cool videos. But you just have to go to that website. Again, all of these are in Tanin under documents. And yeah, that's what you can do for the remainder of the class period, is just check out some of those videos. I will be back next class, and I hope that you're able to get all these things done. Make sure you turn in that CER as well, both of them. When you're done with them, make sure you've clicked the hand in button in Tanin, and I will see you when I get back next class. Good luck.